Right, back again with this image, and we last time opened a levels adjustment layer, and we had this dialog box here. We went to layer, we went to new adjustment layer, and we went across, just dragged the mouse across and went to levels, clicked on that, and we got this levels adjustment layer. It sits above our background layer here. We could have gone to the little icon down there and done the same. This one here, and we had a look at some of the basic tools inside here. We looked at the drop down menu, the RG and the B channels. We clicked on auto. Most importantly, we set the blending mode, and we changed our blending mode to luminosity from normal and back to normal again, and then back to luminosity again. Played around. We're going to have a look around in the adjustment panel and have a look at these different icons, the eyedroppers and the tools that are in here. And if we click on this, this is our set a black point, which will be driving the image you have here into its darkest point. And down there, you'll see there it's black anyway. But we can actually click inside the image here with this little eyedropper, and you can see there that's going to drive that into the darkest point. Let's just go back in our undo history. You could actually go Control Z or Command Z if you wanted to. We've got the undo history panel open. Let's choose the white point. Now this will drive it into a white point, so we click in there, that'll make that white. If I go over here and click that point itself become white, and all the tones above it will be driven into white. You can see that our histogram doesn't look so great now. We have undo history, of course. We can go back in. We've also got this rewind button here, which will reset the adjustment default. So if you click on that, that will actually take you back to the point before you started clicking in your image with the eyedropper tool. So that's a reset adjustment. You see there we hovered over it. It's actually telling us we haven't done anything. If we hold down the Alt or the Option key this time and click in there, you can actually just see that'll show us where our black points are already. Those are already in black at the bottom there, driven into black. Not by any adjustments, but just by using the eyedropper tool with the Alt key or the Option key held down, and that'll show us any highlights that are there. There aren't any. We've got some good tones in our lighter areas. Let's have a look at this slider bar at the bottom here as well. We've got a range of tones from 0 to 255 in this RGB file. We can actually adjust things in here. We can drive things along if we just mouse down and just select that slider there and pull it along. We're actually looking now at an image which has tones from 94 to 255, not from 0 to 255. So we've taken out a lot of those darker tones from the left-hand side of your histogram there. And you see we've really only got the pale area. We're just having through, and we can actually drag that down there. This really only comes into play, I think, when we start looking at using copy layers and looking at blending modes using copy layers. It's interesting. You can always have washed out images if you want to and save those out. Very pale and pasty. This button here, this clips a layer. It doesn't really work with them when you've got one adjustment layer open over a background, but if you just click on this, this will clip this layer to the background. And then what that means, it only affects, if you've got a layer stack, that will only affect the adjustment, will only affect the layer directly below it. It forms a little group, a clipping group. And you get this little arrow here in your adjustment layer, which shows that the adjustment, this level adjustment, will only affect the layer directly below it. Okay, useful when we've got layer stacks going on, not so much here. But if we hold the Alt or the Option key and just have our mouse on the little line between the two, you'll see again, if we click on there, it does the same thing. So there's two ways of doing it. We have the eye icon, we can click on there, or we can click back on it again. That'll just toggle the visibility. We'll press and hold this down, which gives you before and after view state. So you hold it down, release the mouse, click down on it, and you can look backwards and forwards again. And of course we've got our reset option button here, which if you just click on that, that'll reset to the adjustment defaults, just like we opened up the adjustment layer first of all. So we've got all those things, and we've got adjustment end or trash can, and if you click on that, that'll just remove that adjustment layer anyway. So we have all those. Again, we have our blend modes. Don't forget to play around in there. We can click in there, and then you can choose the white point, so you can drive this into quite a contrasty, stark image. You can use those eyedroppers. You can be a bit more subtle if you use the sliders. Don't forget as well, this is an adjustment layer, and you have that opacity option just to slide up and down. A method of fine-tuning your image. Let's just double click on that and reduce it. So there we have. We have that mask available inside, of course. We can choose B or just go across and click on the icon. That's going to choose our brush, bring up the option bar at the top, use the slider, take it down. Try 30% to start with, just as a starting point. If we can't slide down to 30, don't forget you can hit 3 on your keyboard, and that will set it to 30%. If I paint on this mask, you can see there I've not changed my colours to black. And we can do that by going to the little icon down here, which is your default foreground and background colours. You can click on that, and that's going to set your default foreground and background colours. If it's white, you can always just use the X key to toggle, or you can use the little switch there to toggle backwards and forwards. If you've got a white mount, don't forget, we're going to be painting with black on it. And you can see there, we can just take out, by painting on that layer mask, we're reducing the effect of that adjustment layer by knocking things through with a black paint on the white. So it's black to conceal, don't forget, white to reveal. We can use our undo history option. We've got our adjustments, we've got opacity, we can see the before and after. So that's what we're doing with the adjustment. We can alt click on this mask, in fact. Don't forget to see what we've been doing on that mask. Click on the eye icon by the side again just to reset it all again. Let's just reduce that. And you'll see here that in this adjustment layer we've got this little chain that's linking and locking the mask in place. And if we just go into the image itself, choose V or the move tool just there on the top, so hit V on your keyboard, we can actually move that mask around. I know it unlocks things, and you could lock it again. We could also go undo and go back again. So if you want to move your mask around, you've got the option of unlinking it, that little link there. Clicking on it, that unlocks the mask, so it indicates the lock there. We can go back in our history, of course, do undo history and go back in time and play around. So that's another little option there for you in your adjustment layers. Okay, I think I've told you enough. Don't forget, mess around, play around, do it non-destructively. But until the next time, of course, that really is bye for now.